I have 3 short sponsor messages before we get into today's show. First, if you have a great domain name and nothing to show when people visit, you're missing out on potential advertising revenue, leads, and partnership opportunities. NicheWebsites.com can build you a site quickly with a price option to suit any need. But as their tagline says, they don't just build websites, they build businesses. Second, if you're buying or selling a domain name or a portfolio and you want an estimate of its value, Estimate.com is the place to go. Just like you'd visit Zillow.com to get an estimate of a house value, Estimate.com provides key information about the most important statistics so you can make an informed decision based on data. Finally, DNX.com is a domain name exchange that uses a reverse auction platform to provide fair market prices for quality domain names that are manually filtered by an experienced broker. At DNX.com, domain prices drop until someone decides the price is right. But don't wait too long or the domain you love might be purchased by someone else. All 3 sponsors have a clickable banner in the upper right-hand corner of DomainSherpa.com. Here's your program. Hey everyone, I'm Michael Seiger, publisher of DomainSherpa.com, and this is the Domain Sherpa Review. This is the show where we get into the minds of successful domain name investors using real examples so we can learn strategies and tactics. We have 3 sections to the review. An investor-submitted domain name portfolio to discuss and value, a marketplace list from namejet.com, and we're going to wrap it up with our Name That Price game. Joining us today on the Domain Sherpa Review are 3 past Sherpas and thought leaders. In order from left to right, we have Adam Dicker, CEO of dnforum.com, nichewebsites.com, and publisher of theartofthename.com. Andrew Rosener, CEO of domain name brokerage MediaOptions.com and partner of the reverse auction domain name marketplace DNX.com. And Paige Howe, founder and president of JoeDomains.com and DomainOutlet.com. Sherpas, welcome to the show.
Good to be here.
We're going to launch right into the first section. In the domain portfolio review, we take user-submitted domain name portfolios page, and we provide honest and constructive feedback to the owners. If you're watching this show on YouTube, click the link below the description, in the description, so you can see the names that we're discussing. Today's portfolio was submitted by Pat from Landmark Domains. A big thank you to Pat for his generous donation to the Fred Hutchinson Cancer Research Center as part of his submission. We're all a little bit closer to finding a cure for cancer. His list of 25 domain names starts with acidtabs.com and ends with vacant-land.com. Paige, let's start with you. What domains do you like on Pat's list, and what retail price would you set on them if you own them and were listing them for sale on Domain Outlet?
Well, I was able to go through the list, and I probably only had one with a retail price over $4,000. Most of them I felt like, hopefully, if I did own them, I would have paid, quite a bit less, and I'd ask $2,000 to $3,000 for them. At the top end, by far, I thought was degree required, just in terms of the best name that was a phrase that you hear a lot. It has a good e-com category, which is jobs, education, either getting a job that requires a degree or getting a degree to get a job that requires a degree. So I thought of all the 2-word phrases. I felt like I was going through one of the drop lists and I was in the phrases category or the 2-word combo category. And a lot of these names would have made, I would have checked them on my watch list, but I don't know how many I would have actually gone for. But they do make sense in their 2 words. So I had degree required at the top, but I would ask over 10 grand for it if I owned it. Then the other one, fully approved, I was stretching to get that one to $2,000 or $3,000 because it was in the credit niche. Maybe the house buying niche, I'm fully approved, but I don't know if I ever really have said before in my life that I'm fully approved. Yeah. I mean, I might say I'm approved or something like that, but I don't know if I would really put it on a t-shirt, fully approved. And everyone would go, yeah, I know, that's a word that we use all the time. Slim dress, I tried to stretch that up into the $1,000 to $2,000 category, but it was a stretch. So most of them I had wholesale price being pretty low, or maybe I wouldn't even bid on them. And then those 3 I had at least having some merit. And if there was a 4th, not to steal the thunder from everyone else, but it would probably be Flip Guru was probably number 4.
All right. Adam, let's go over to you. What names do you like on the list, and what retail price would you set on them if you owned them?
It's a really difficult list to look at because a lot of the things to me are backwards. For example, refund it is not a good name for a business. You wouldn't want to refund it. And there's a bunch of others like that. Like fully approved, I don't really like that one because, I mean, there's no partially approved. You're approved or you're not. Egg painter, I mean, it was a job I had in college. It's a great job, but I don't know anybody that's looking to be an egg painter.
Easter is coming up, or actually
Yeah,
Easter just
it's Easter
passed.
now, but it's only good for a few days, I think. Deal vulture, it's kind of cool, but a vulture waits for people to die and then picks away at their bones. So I don't know. It's a very tough list to work from. I didn't. I was looking at degree required. I thought it would be a good name for a job board, but then it's going to scare people away right away. But it's a good qualifier, so it's not bad for that. I did like most common side effects because I think I could build a big site on most common side effects and list every disease that's out there or every drug with side effects. So I think that one's probably the best one for me. Be compensated again is another job category one where people see be compensated kind of to me means they weren't compensated before. So I'm trying to figure out how I could figure out a job category where they are getting compensated for something they weren't getting paid for before, and it may be a niche, I don't know. So I'm going to stick with most common side effects. I know Esterbot puts it at about 1,800. I'll put it at about 3 to 4 grand because I think it's a good name with some potential of a lot of. It could become a good authority site. It reminds me of that site that my buddy has. It's something like how to clean everything, and he does really well with it. So it looks like it'd be one of those. The rest of them, I got to be honest, I don't see much potential with them, and I think he needs to refocus, refine, and spend some money on some better domain names.
Yeah. So your specific advice, Adam, on this domain name list is maybe look at the ones that you've suggested, maybe Paige, and we're going to, of course, listen to Drew. And then the rest of them, consider dropping them, taking that money that you'd pay on registrations and buying some better names.
Well, dropping or sell them. I mean, I look at a portfolio like this, and the first thing that comes to mind is, A, the person hasn't done enough reading, or they haven't asked anybody for proper advice before they go out and buy domain names. So it's not horrible. It's just not a good portfolio. To me, it would be a learning experience.
But if you took these names, like if you bundled up Get Custom Fit, Go Earn Money, HOA Watch, Knees Hurt, and listed them on DN Forum, would somebody take them? Like if I said take these 4 or 5 domains for $30, would somebody take them, you think?
It's hard to say what somebody else would do, but I mean, I really don't think there's an optimum audience to sell these to. I mean, some of them may be good, like Debt Scam may have potential to sell, but some of these other ones, I just don't believe anybody's going to want them. Like I look at them, and some of them I wouldn't buy for $10. So
yeah,
and I'm not trying to be insulting here. It's just
we're trying to provide honest feedback to Pat, and hopefully, he'll take it for what it's worth. It's our opinions about this domain name list. I'm sure he has other domain names, and he's had some successes. Drew, let's go over to you, and what have you heard that you agree with, and what do you disagree with, and what other domain names might you like on the list?
Okay, so I actually there's only 2 names on this list I like at all.
I'm going to guess one of them. AcidTabs.com.
That's it. That's the first one.
But bam, so, I knew it.
AcidTabs.com. I'm not sure about the commercial purpose, but if you want to roll the dice with the federal government and sell tabs of acid online, that's the name to do it on. There is some very interesting research that's coming out about the use of LSD, so-called acid, in in the field of psychology, and some of Dr. Leary's research is being dragged back out of the closet, and they're showing some pretty promising results for the use against like post-traumatic stress disorder in soldiers, and some other interesting applications. So who knows? I certainly would keep it. I wouldn't let it expire. I'm not sure how much I'd pay to buy it. I guess if I owned it and somebody actually did want to buy it, I'd probably be looking for like 5 to 10 grand, something like that.
So that's similar to maybe the marijuana domains before even the resolutions were suggested by the states, Colorado and Washington. No,
marijuana is it's not. You can't even really call marijuana a niche, because I think it was something like 83% of all Americans have at least tried marijuana in their lifetime. So, that's a pretty good majority. I think that's probably more than, have driven a car in their lifetime. So, LSD is definitely a little bit more, pigeonholed, a little more neat. So, whatever. It's an okay name. I'd keep it. I'm not sure about its sales proposition, but it's, it's a funky little name.
Okay.
The other one is, I'm with Adam. I think mostcommonsideeffects.com is actually a great name. Very clear what it is. It's got a lot of mind share. I mean, every single drug package on the face of the planet, at least in the United States, and says most common side effects. So it's something that everybody immediately recognizes. They remember it. It's a little bit long, but it's a nice, commonly used phrase. And I think that, again, it's like slang.org. It's buy a database of all the common side effects, all the different drugs, pump tons of content, and then just be the best guy out there for SEO, and you're going to get a lot of traffic. I mean, there's a ton of people searching for the most common side effects of Advil, aspirin, and every other medication under the sun. So I think that has great development prospects. It could at any time sell to some big company that wanted to build something out on it. Outside of that, I don't see anything that I would even hand register, to be honest. Maybe Slim Dress I'd hang on to if I had it already. Maybe Low Nut I might hang on to as like a really poor replacement for low-hanging fruit, or I don't know, but or kind of like low overhead. I've got a low nut, but it's more. I think you say small nut. I don't think you say low nut.
Yeah.
All right. But the rest, I mean, honestly, I'd probably rather let these expire and take the $250 it would cost to renew them, and buy something on Namejet that would be better to flip, or
yeah.
But yeah.
I guess it's kind of a comparison thing. If you look at all the names that are available, like in a one-day drop list, a lot of these would be in the top 30 to 40 maybe. I mean, if you throw out the 4 letters and the things that are have their own categories, but if you just got into words, a lot of these would show up. And then if that's where he's getting them, you want to sit there and say, but what do the drop lists look like for the whole month? And will these be the best ones out of the whole month maybe? And that's where there's no doubt that these would be better than a lot of the other stuff that's dropping in a day. So you could look at 10,000 names, and Go Earn Money could be the best one out of that whole list. So then you're thinking, well, man, that's better than all the rest of them. Go Earn Money sounds good. It sounds so much better than the stuff that doesn't make sense. And then I think once you own it, then you're like, okay, now I got to compare it against all the other domain names that are registered. So that's where, and I've got a lot of names probably in the same category. So it's not like I'm, saying, do as I say, not as I do. But I just think like Meeting Free, the MTG, that's hard because some people like MTNG, you're not going to get the keyword number because you're using the abbreviation. Spygone, it's like the name really needs you more than you need the name, because you have to say to someone, the reason you'd want this name is because it's going to make a spy. And once you have to tell that whole story, then you're not giving someone the value that the name should give them. So that's where I was on a lot of.
All right. Hey, Pat, I had a question.
I don't necessarily agree. I think if you looked at just quickly looking at the drop list right now, just on the first page here, I could probably pick 25 names better
than most of the names here.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So Pat had a question. He wrote, quote, I'm a busy person working a full-time job and raising a family. My domaining development goal is to create 1 to 3 fairly automated websites, like a blog, affiliate marketing, or other. My budget is $5,000 per website for development and marketing with the goal of generating $1,000 per month once they're stabilized, so maybe mature and stabilized. The plan is to manage 1 to 3 virtual assistants to help me maintain the websites once they're up and running. So, Adam, let's start with you. Given that background, are there any domains that you would recommend he start with that he could spend $5,000 per website and try and generate $1,000 per month in sort of a passive or managing a virtual assistant part-time to manage things on a website for him to generate that passive income?
Yeah, I mean, based on that, easily it would be most common side effects because it would just require somebody to keep inputting data if it's SEO'd properly, which is obviously something I could do. And then most common side effects, and then I would probably after that, I would go after be compensated as a second one. And then the third one, if I had to pick a third one, I'm going through the list very quickly. I would tell them to just concentrate on those two, but I would say if you're willing to spend $15,000, put maybe 7 or 8 into most common side effects, and put a few into be compensated. And then you've got one site that's for informational purposes, one site that's going to get jobs and recruit people. And if you do it right with be compensated, you can get hiring agencies, recruiting agencies to give you 15-20% per candidate that's hired, and you'll make a lot more than the $1,000 a month if it's done right.
Drew, and then we'll come to you, Paige. Drew, what couple sites or 3 sites would you recommend from the list?
I mean, like I said, with just talking about the domains, is really the only name in here that I would put any money into would be most common side effects. If he's got 15 grand to spend, I'd put a really kick-ass site on most common side effects. I think, let's see, you can get a pretty basic site up for maybe 3 to 5 grand, a good, a real good, good foundation, right? And then you're gonna, I don't know how much the database would cost. I'm sure there's a database out there that can be acquired, and it's probably gonna cost you, I have no clue. I mean, just guessing, I'd say $1,000, $2,000, and then you got to do some SEO, and
So you've done exactly that, Drew. I think you were trading Skype with Elliot Silver on DomainInvesting.com, and he posted that you had built slang.org, and you basically created an online database of slang words on your domain name, slang.org, and now it's populated by users who visit slang.org and probably found it by searching for a slang word like what does, WTF mean, and they find slang.org definition, and then they want to add their own definition. So, and then you go in, or you have one of your employees or assistants moderate adding new phrases to it. So it could be something similar to that.
It could be something similar. I don't think, you're not going to get any user-generated content. Simple risk that if you're accepting user-generated content, you might get sued because of false information about medications or something. So you probably need to have a verified database of information. And it's probably going to be a little more expensive. I don't even know where my developer got his database. But we didn't pay much for it.
But it's a good point that because this is related to health, there should be some legal review to make sure that that Pat's covered if he's providing this database of common side effects.
Yeah, telling people the wrong definition for WTF stupid domainer thing. Ad.com and whatever everything. Telling people the wrong definition for WTF doesn't have much impact. Telling them the wrong side effects for taking aspirin when they're pregnant could have some epic side effects.
Definitely.
So, but yeah, I mean, I think to really do it right and to, if he's looking for $1,000 a month in passive income here, or relatively passive, I think he's probably gonna have to put at least $7,500, maybe 10 grand, all in. Buying the database, getting a nice website set up, that's gonna have automated systems in place to maintain it and hopefully perpetually update the database and
Yeah.
Probably going to want to get a writer to keep adding some articles.
Right, and that could be the virtual assistant's job.
Yep.
So his job would be to sort of figure out how all the pieces come together, hire a developer to build it out, get the database imported in, figure out how it's all going to be displayed, figure out what search engine optimization needs to be done on it, or hire somebody to do that, and then have new content, new side effects, and symptoms, I guess, added to the database on a regular basis so that Google sees that you're continually adding to it. Hey, Paige, you've done development in the past also. Which domain names would you look at and say, these are the ones I would pick?
Actually, I'm quite proud of my non-development.
Oh, I know you've done some. Come on, don't give me that.
Let's just say when the Heartbleed virus came out, I was not at risk on any site because I had not developed any site. But anyway, I don't think any of these would merit the $5,000 investment. I think that it's like building a great house on a poor piece of land. And I think that he's got a great plan, which is to build a user-generated content website that runs on its own. And on one hand, you could say, heck, I could build that on any name. And he could build that on any one of these names and maybe be success. But, where could he find a $10,000 retail name that he could try to buy for $1,000 and then put $4,000 in development? I think he'd be better off because he'd be adding value he'd be making a name 3 to 50 times better. So even if he was doing most common side effects, I still think it has one extra word. I think at 4 words, it opens up a lot of other ones. So even if you're going to do the same business model with side effects, I think you could almost pick a better name out of the block. So Heart of Hearts, Honest Engine, I would save the money until you had a better name. And if there was a name on the list that we haven't mentioned that might merit it, it might be vacantland.com with the dash, only because at least it's an area where you could do listings. You're not having to go, create your own blog, create what you think about flipping houses or slim dresses or something. People list their land, you show their land. The site without the dash is developed, but it's not real extensive, so you might lose some traffic, but people might, come to you, and it's at least a big enough category that it might warrant the investment. So that's where I go.
Isn't it vacant lots?
Yeah, it's not premium. It's not the top of the food chain.
So your takeaway, Paige, is that if he's got $15,000 to spend, maybe he takes $5,000, buys a domain name that's worth like $20,000. He just gets a heck of a deal and spends the rest developing that out. There's different
even
ways.
If he just took his $5,000 and spent $1,000 on a good name, and then spent $4,000 on development, I think you'd end up with a better sum of the parts.
Contrary to what Paige is saying, most common side effects with an exact match in Google has 42 million results. So it is definitely a good name to build out, and the word most is not too many words. In this case, you could build a 4-word domain name and make it better, much better than a domain with a dash. So I'll stick with most common side effects. He can have vacant land, and let's see how we go.
Yeah. All right. And his follow-up question is there a one-stop company that any of you can recommend that would help me get started? If not, I would probably use Elance or Fiverr vendors. I'll throw out Adam runs nichewebsites.com, and you do that specifically, right, Adam? You help.
I've done it a lot. I've done databases before. I know where to find them all. I'd definitely be interested in working with him. We could definitely stay under his budget.
Excellent.
And deliver a quality product. So
yeah. And I've used developers in the past. I think I found my my current CTO on freelancer.com, which I think was bought by Elance now. So there's always great people out there. It's sometimes you find some winners and sometimes you don't. So working with a known quantity is a good option. Any other suggestions, Drew and Paige, before we wrap up this section? Are you still making $25 a day, Drew, on slang.org?
Yeah, we're making more. That thing is growing. It's growing like it's growing at about 15 to 20% a week.
15 to 20% unique readers, page views, revenue.
Unique impressions and unique visitors.
Nice.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise.
Actually, Drew, I have another one for you that I used to do, and I still have the old site for it. It was cusswords.com. And I used to have cuss words in every language, and I used to get a ton of
Is it
traffic.
still up?
No, I took it down, but I have the old site. I'll put it back up because
That's a great one. That's a great one.
It was really good because everyone wants to learn the bad words in every language.
Exactly. That is a good one.
I'll buy that one from you. I like this. Really, this is a nice little niche. I really like this little niche. I don't want to actually. Oh, we shouldn't even say it publicly. I don't want a lot of copycats, but it's a nice little niche. There's some interesting dynamics to it.
You should have got me before because I sold acronyms and phrases.com. Both of them.
Those are good too.
I was just talking to somebody at Domain Holdings about buying acronyms.com.
I sold it.
Oh, was that you selling it through them?
No, I sold it before them.
Okay.
The guy who's got it is now selling it.
Yeah.
All right,
Nice.
Pat.
That's
We hope
really
that's
nice.
helpful to you. We're going to move into the marketplace list. This section is sponsored by NameJet, and we'll be reviewing 10 domain names heading to auction within the next week. Some of the domains on the list go to auction at 8 p.m. tonight, so don't delay if you like any of the domains. Once an auction starts at NameJet, it's too late for you to join in. The links below go to the domain names on NameJet. They're not commissionable links. They're just trackable so that NameJet can see how much traffic we're sending them. The list starts with findevents.com and it ends with unpainted.com. Drew, let's start with you this time. What do you like on the NameJet list and why?
Okay. I had 4 names that really stood out to me. There's 5 names I really liked. Findevents.com is probably, it's tied for first, but let's start there. So findevents.com, I mean, it says what it is what it says. Frankly, I think that's a great niche. We've got a little website here locally that, we got a bunch of great content on it, but I think 85% of our content comes from our event calendar. Because it's a tourist attraction. It's like the #2 tourist attraction in Panama after the canal. And people, when they come to visit, want to know what's going on. And so, and then people that live here also want to find out what's going on. So Find Events, I think that has huge potential for development, for business, or for resale. Those two go hand in hand. If it has big potential for development and business, it's generally good potential for resale. So I like that one a lot. I'd have to dig in a little more to figure out what I'd pay for it, but certainly a few grand. And if I were going to sell it, I mean, definitely 25 grand at the low end. I like narc.com just because it's a pronounceable 4-letter. I think it kind of has a negative connotation because if you're a narc, you're a rat, right? You know what happens to rats. So I don't know. I don't know about narc, but it is a nice, it's pronounceable 4-letter. Can't discount it. Probably liquid at $1,000.
My daughter has a rat as a pet. I'm not letting her watch this show.
I like justgraduated.com. I think that's a great job board type site. Internships, job boards, advice, providing advice to graduates. Sextext.com. That's a hot market. I think in our last review we talked about Tinder, and Michael was an expert on the subject, and it's a hot thing. I mean, I'm a married man. I'm not into sex texting, but I think that there is a lot of people that are. I think some of the I don't know how many startups have raised a ton of cash that are sort of disappearing text messages and all this stuff. So I think that's probably a pretty cool name. And then I like tubeless.com. Tubeless tires, run flats, or there's a lot of different types of tubeless tires. I mean, tubeless.com is a nice brand for anybody manufacturing a tubeless tire. So I think it has good resale potential. Not so sure about e-commerce. Might be a little too niche for setting up shop if you're not a manufacturer or somebody already in that retail space. But if you are in that retail space or you are a manufacturer, it's a nice little brand to have. So it's got some resale value.
Cool. All right, Adam, let's go over to you. What do you like on the list and why?
So, I mean, Find Events is a decent name. I'm not crazy about it, though, because I don't know what type of events. It's not specific for me, and I don't know.
But what if you broke it out by geography, or what if you started in technology and you came up with categories for every single genre and technology, and then you brought them in, you know.
But what's an event? Is it a trade show? Is it a meetup? I mean, I don't know what an event is unless you're looking at events in the Olympics, really. So I'm not. It's a good name. I'm sure it's good, but to me it doesn't mean much. Fudian. It is a city in China, in Henan province. So that one will probably go quite high. I think that one's going to be a good one. Just graduated. Now, I like that one a lot because I think if you built a site and built a really good brand for college kids who are all getting out of university and no job, nothing to do, and you've got just graduated and it's telling them from beginning to end what they need to know when they graduate and what they need to do, and I mean helps them with getting their resume set up and helps them get stuff going. I think that could be a huge draw and an information site that could link to career sites and many other things. I mean, could lead to a lot of placements, a lot of other things. So I like that one. That's probably my top one in the list.
Yeah, and in support of that, I've got a friend here on the island that writes books for colleges. The colleges are paying a lot of money to help students be successful when they get out, so that they can generate more money from the alumni donating back to the college. So in support of that one, I've seen the market work. We could
also, even before they make their first dollar, give them a copy of your tax guide.
Yes.
Because then they'll know what they're. But I mean, I still don't think in school they teach them what they need to know, which is what life is about when you get out and you've got bills and mortgages and you have to worry about budgeting this, budgeting that, and car payments and everything. They may know about car payments, so that's about it.
Yeah.
What about plans to pay off their student debt? I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can do for people who've just graduated. So I like that name. I think it's got potential. Now, as far as narcos, yes, it's a rat, but it's also in Australia. It's an annoying person or thing. So I don't really think that that's a great one. Although it's pronounceable, there's some names that are pronounceable. You still wouldn't want to build a site on them.
Right.
Like pedophile. I mean, there's a lot of them you wouldn't want to site on. Sex text. Let's go over that, Drew. The term for you older people that are married is sexting, not sex text. Although sex text may be okay because it's specific, but it's sexting. So there you go.
So sex text isn't as good as sexting.com.
Oh, definitely not. Everyone knows sexting is the big one.
Yeah.
Right, Paige?
Yes, based upon my research.
I'm a huge sports guy, so sports gadgets catches my eye. There's tons of stuff you can sell to people that are interested in sports. So I've got sports gadgets right under just graduate.
Like what? Like those hats with the beer that comes down, or?
I don't know. I mean, but there's all. If I see anything, I go to a store and I see some new cool thing, I'm gonna buy it. If it's got my team on it, they'll buy anything. And a gadget could be anything from, I don't know, it could be an electric razor or something with your team. People buy everything and anything that has
for their teams.
Like sports gadgets, but it doesn't have to be like a team thing. It could be something for hiking. It could be a tool to help you with hiking. It could be anything. It could be those things that you put on your belt and walk and tells you how many steps you've been. It could be anything. If you go to what used to be Sherpa Image or Brookstone, you'll find all kinds of gadgets. Plus, there's all kinds of gadgets. There's gadgets.com that has tons of stuff you can resell. Tubeless, yes, it's a popular term. I think it's more popular because of YouTube and tube videos. So we'll take a look at that. And then unpainted is one of those backward ones where, hi, we're unpainted.com. Pay us and we won't paint anything. I mean, unpainted is it's another good example of a good word like narc, but it's got a negative connotation. Unless you're selling furniture that's unpainted and maybe natural finish or I don't know what you're doing. But, I mean, for me, it's just graduate for sure because I think that's a huge niche that nobody's filling right now where nobody's telling the grads what. I mean, you could almost go around to the schools and colleges and prep them for what they can expect out there in a kind way and give them the stuff, the top 10 things they should think about before they graduate and the top 10 things they need to do once they graduate.
Sure.
So I like that one a lot.
Yeah, and you could probably make a commission off the credit cards for new graduates, and there's
all kinds of
insurance
stuff.
And lots of things. Paige, let's go over to you. What do you like on this name jet list?
I'd probably, follow Adam almost exactly. I think just graduated far and above is just a terrific name. You've got the connotation from just married. That's the same group. So people are used to kind of saying it, as opposed to having just had a baby. You might not be like, but it just seems to be something that people are like, what are you doing? Hey, I just graduated, and then boom, there's your 10 things you can sell. So yeah, I really like it. Find events was interesting because, like the other guys, great 2 words, awesome big directory, but it's almost like the word event is a word that the sponsor calls something, but it's not always a word that the attendees will call something. They'll say, I'm going to a party, I'm going to a seminar, I'm going to a trade show, I'm going to something, but they won't really say, like, I want to go to an event this weekend. But the person putting it on is event planner, event whatever. So it is the right word. It's what you want to find, but really picking on it big time, it's almost like but then if you're in the party planning business, you wouldn't be the one wanting to find events. So I think it kind of switches around there, but it's still nice. I mean, it'll get a bid. And I couldn't find the city. I couldn't find the official Fudian, whether it was a city or an incorporated entity or something. It seemed to be on some of the geo lists and some of the other ones. So I would research it a little bit more because Wikipedia didn't have it, which I'm not saying that they have everything, but it didn't seem to be an exact city. And then NARC, I think when you NARC on someone, I think that's NARC, so you'd have to rebrand this one and take advantage of the popularity of the name. So maybe it's a tattletale site on your neighbors. You'd have to come up with, I think like Drew said it was negative, you'd have to come up with a positive reason where you could make narking social media, cool social follow type thing, as opposed to getting someone in trouble. So I thought just graduated by a long way to win, narc to place, and find events to show. Sports gadgets, great, really good name. You think of golf gadgets, and this would apply to everything. Time stop, I really tried to think of something like a time tape or a time machine, or something like that, but I was really working too hard to then want to pay anything more than $69 for the name because it wasn't coming with any pedigree. It was me having to build it into it. And then unpainted, I think you guys said it best. It's unfurnished if you do furniture. You want it painted. If it's furnished, you want it painted. If it's not painted, you want it unfinished. Sorry, not furnished. So, yeah, just graduated. Number 1 on the list.
There you go.
So just for Paige's benefit, who couldn't find foodie in town in China, it's now 4:16 a.m. there, and it's 15 degrees Celsius. I popped up the link in the window sidebar for you guys.
And narc with a K, you could say something like, it's okay to narc. I don't know what you're going to narc. I
don't think it is. Remind me not to tell you anything.
Yeah.
All right, Sherpas, we're entering the lightning round. Today we're playing Name That Price. Drew Rosener is the reigning champion. We're going to see who takes the crown today. Here's how the game works. Now pay attention, Drew, because I modified it for you. I named 3 domain names that sold within the past 12 months to end users. I verified that they were end users. You write down a price on a piece of paper that you think it sold at, no looking up the search volume or anything on the internet. You just put pen to paper and then hold it up. The closest answer, higher or low, it doesn't matter, wins. First up, farmrealestate.com. Farm, as in I've got a little farm with cows and chickens. Realestate.com. Write down what you think it sold for and hold it up, gentlemen. All right, Paige has got $23,500. Drew has got $5,888. I think that's a Mike Mann number. And Adam has $19,000. So before I even tell you the number, Adam and Paige are very closely grouped. Drew, why do you think that the domain is only worth about $6,000?
I don't just farmrealestate.com doesn't really go hand in hand to me. I mean, it's kind of like farmland or farms for sale or but farm real estate, I
wouldn't think so either. I've got one of my best friends from Bainbridge Island just decided he wanted to raise his family on a farm, so they moved out to Michigan. Maybe he went to search for farm real estate to figure out where he wanted to live. I don't know. Maybe. But
what a bad decision that was.
Hey, I don't know. He's having a great time there. So who do you think won, guys?
I think the one who's closest to the actual price.
Yeah, I don't know. That's why we play the game.
And that person is Adam. It sold for $20,000. Adam was only $1,000.
Wow.
It's listed as the online marketplace for farm real estate, including farms, ranch land, and agricultural properties. Nice job, Adam.
Thanks.
Are they getting any traffic?
I don't know. I didn't check that.
Site? Is it a site yet?
It is a site. Yeah, it's a site up and running. So if you're going to look for a farm, go check out farmrealestate.com. We'll give them some free traffic. Next up,
Maybe you have an affiliate ID for it.
we're going to go from 3 words to 2 words. Proskin.com. PROSKIN.com. What did it sell for? It sold to an end user. Write down your numbers, gentlemen.
ProSkin?
ProSkin, yeah. All right, Paige is first up with 14,500. Adam is going for $19,000 again. He's pulling a Page and
Well, I
going
can't
with a
believe you're
duplicate
picking
number.
the same number.
And Drew is going for
I figure I'm not gonna stick with
$28,000.
it.
So, Drew, you put the highest number out there again. Last time you had the lowest number. Are you trying to compensate, or did you think, like, ProSkin, what could it be? Like, what was your thought process real fast?
I thought of moleskin. I thought of dermatology and health, and that's a big industry with a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And ProSkin is a nice little brand. And if I held out, if I owned it, I'd probably hold out. And somebody on the other end is probably a little anxious, and I'd milk it and maybe get 28 grand.
All right.
And Adam, you had, Paige, you had the lowest number. What was going through your process? What were you thinking? What industries could possibly want ProSkin.com?
I think same comment as Drew. I mean, if it's Rick Schwartz, it's 100,000. If it's me, it's 7,500. It kind of depends on who the seller was as to what they would hold out for. But I think it's got a lot of quality to it. And
Well,
7
because
letters.
it's a good name for a skin cleanser, too.
It's just a name.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the answer was $19,000. So Adam took it yet again.
On the nose!
You were very
Hold on,
close,
hold on.
Paige. Very
It was
close. And
19
Adam
right
looks like the
on.
winner for today. So ProSkin,
Hold on. Was it 19 right on?
it was $17,000 that it sold for.
Oh, you said 19.
Okay, I thought
You
I
had
thought
19,
right on.
so
I was
you were
gonna-
$2,000 off, and
All
Paige was $2,500 off. ProSkin Film has taken automotive protection to another level by introducing new technology that was specifically designed for the paint protection film, and by utilizing exclusive installation facilities, ProSkin has truly redefined automotive protection. So nobody thought about that. Could be,
I was also thinking about, really popular rabbi for doing,
a moil, you mean.
yeah.
Oh, gross.
I want a professional to take care of that skin.
That's one job I could never do, no matter what domain.
All right, do you guys want the third one, or it doesn't matter because we're going to find out if Adam sweeps it. If he gets the third one, that is in your face to you two guys, Drew and Paige. So let's do it. Here we go. Last up, it's a fun one. ScubaGirls.com. Scuba, as in you put on the mask, you dive down. SCUBA girls.com.
Easy there.
What did it sell for? Write down your answer. Drew's got it. $1,800 Drew has. What do you got, Paige? $2,400. And what do you say, Adam? I think Adam's drawing a picture.
19,000.
22.
Oh, how can you go with that? You didn't go with 19.
Is that $2,200, Adam? Adam, you're muted.
Yeah, 2,200 because Scuba Girls isn't a business.
Yeah, I want to switch mine to 19,000. I want to switch mine to 19,000.
Why? What's the point? You're already the highest. You've already got 2,400. You're the highest. So
You were the highest.
Sometimes I do things that don't make sense.
Now, before I tell you the answer and who won, you guys are very closely grouped here. $600 separates you three. You all think that a two-word brandable like that doesn't have a lot of commercial value.
Well, that's the big thing. It doesn't have.
well, I don't know. If you go to ganjagirls.com, they've got quite a nice little business. I'm not joking. They're actually killing it.
GanjaGirls.com. I don't want to bring up a browser and suck down my bandwidth. What do I see when I go to GanjaGirls.com? Can you describe it, or is it?
I haven't
risky?
visited recently. But,
Is it safe for work?
I think that the most delicate parts are covered with large, copious amounts of ganja.
All right, now I'm going to type it in. Bandwidth be damned. Oh, it didn't. Ganja. I spelled it wrong. Hold on.
Well, how do you spell ganja anyway?
GANJA.
Oh, it redirected to 420girls.com.
He just gave you a virus.
And then
He's
you got to
got a
be over
virus.
18 years to enter.
He looks like the Green Giant for some reason. Why is she green?
All right, NSFW, not safe for work. Don't type that in. All right, so you all agreed.
Not safe for work. I apologize. I didn't.
No, it's safe. It's fine.
No, she is all the private parts are covered with marijuana leaves.
It forwards over to Facebook after you click that stupid link on your site.
All right. The correct answer is $2,500. That Scuba Girls paid for it, and Paige was $100 off. Congratulations, Paige. You stopped Adam from shutting you out totally.
Much? 25?
$2,500.
All right, he wins.
So all three of you agreed that it was a fair sale to an end user at Scuba Girls. As the site says, we offer the highest quality scuba dive travel, private guides, and private instruction in Key Largo. And so if you're going to Key Largo, you know, that could be a great brandable. You're going to remember it. You're taken out by some beautiful women.
Yeah, until your wife finds out and she holds your head underwater.
Exactly. All right, congratulations, Adam.
Thank you.
30 seconds apiece to promote anything you want. Paige Howe, what would you like to promote?
Hey, we did a little different thing with domain outlet this week. Oneword.com names. We priced them at 100, 500, 1,000, or 5,000. If you think you have better names, submit them, and maybe we'll list yours on our site too. For the next week.
Got better names. I'm going to send them to you. How much is it going to cost me if you sell them? Is it free?
15%.
All right. Drew, what's going on with you? Anything you want to promote?
I don't really have much to promote, I don't think. We are selling cabinets.com, which I think is an absolutely insanely good domain name with a huge opportunity, particularly on the heels of the blinds.com sale for over $1 billion to Home Depot, and the cabinet market being double the size of the blinds market in the home decoration space. I think that I think somebody's going to get a very, very good deal, and we're going to see another 9 or 10-figure business pop up on it.
That's crazy. Everybody's going to apps, as Gary Vaynerchuk said.
What does Gary know?
All right. I think that video, somebody posted the video of you asking him that question and saying, seriously? Like, everybody's going to go buy cabinets on an app?
Yeah, my kid is going to be buying cabinets on an app? Come on, Gary, get with it. More wine, buddy. No more wine.
I will buy wine on an app. Adam, anything you want to promote?
Yeah, most common side effects, call me. Call me. We'll get this done. We'll build out a good site. We'll get it into you as well.
What's your phone number, Adam?
416-884-0535.
There we go.
1-800-GANJA Girls?
No.
Do not go to ganjagirls.com while you're at work. If you receive benefit from today's show, please post a comment below and thank today's Sherpas. Thanks to Pat from Landmark Domains for submitting his portfolio for review and making a generous donation to help find a cure for cancer. Call Adam. Get set up. It sounds like it could be a great search engine optimized, tons of traffic coming in, drug-related site. Thanks to NameJet for submitting their portfolio and sponsoring the Domain Sherpa review. And thanks again to our Domain Sherpas for sharing their experience and insights. We'll see you all next time.
Thank you.